Hey, what's up guys? Drew here over at Rev Hiker Outdoors, and I'm coming to you today with a video that I think is really going to be cool. I'm really excited about it, at least, so I hope you guys are too. First off, this video is going to be about my top 3 survival items. If you go on the internet and you do a search, or you go to survival forums, or you go to, even YouTube, there's a bunch of videos on top 3, top 5, top 10. The top 3 items that I would bring if I was in a survival situation. So I wanted to do a video like that, but with a different spin. So I'm just going to spill the beans here. What I'm going to do is quickly show you my 3 items, give you an explanation of why they're my 3, and then what I want to do is, you can see I'm in my truck, and it is snowing pretty good out there. I'm going to go into the woods, and I am going to, in effect, survive for today, tonight, and tomorrow. And I'm going to try to build a shelter. I'm going to, get water. I'm going to do all that. And I'm only going to take these 3 items. Now, right now, the temperature outside is 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's well below freezing. And tonight, it's supposed to get down into the single digits. But the worst part is that the wind chill is going to be, I think it's forecast to be right around like 8 below 0. Again, that's in Fahrenheit. I think in Celsius, 8 below 0 works out to be about, check my facts here, but I think 22 below in Celsius. So either way, it's going to be cold, and the winds are going to be getting up to 20 miles an hour. So it's going to be cold, it's going to be windy. It's going to be difficult to start a fire. And anyway, so before I get into my items, let me just kind of give some full disclosure here. I will be bringing along some emergency supplies in the event that, I totally fail at this. Reason being is because I am trying to demonstrate survival. I'm not actually trying to survive. I've got 2 little kids, I've got a wife, I've got a church that I pastor. I'm not going to, act like an idiot and not bring along proper supplies. What I am going to do, though, is do my absolute best to only use those 3. If I end up using something, I will let you guys know. I'm not going to lie about it and act like I'm the hero. So anyway, without further ado, here are my 3 items. First item is this. My trusty old Mora. Love this thing. I don't need to tell you guys the importance of a cutting tool. I was going to go with a multi-tool with my Leatherman, because there's a lot of different uses for the pliers and the scissors and all the different tools on there, especially for first aid and that kind of stuff. But I wanted to kind of go do a little more purist with this. So I've just got a regular old fixed blade, nothing fancy, nothing expensive, 14 bucks on Amazon. Next item is fire. Now, I know some people say, well, you can do bow and spindle, you can do bow drill, I don't care. That's if you've ever had to do that in a real situation, which, I have real world, where go out, get the wood, and try to make it right now when I was in my survival training, it's very difficult. I don't want to fumble around for hours, possibly, trying to make this with wet, snowy wood. I'm bringing along a fire steel. Now, this, you can see, is a Coughlin's, very cheap. I got this for $4.99, so it's a cheap fire steel. So I think our grand total now is $19 between the knife and my fire steel. The third thing I brought along is something that I think, again, is very hard to replicate in the wild, out here, and there are going to be people that disagree and argue and say, no, a container, you can improvise that. You can. But then to boil water in, say, a hollowed out, piece of wood that you make, you got to dump nasty rocks with ashes all over them. It's pointless. So this is my third one. A stainless steel container. This is a Sub-Zero. I have no idea what, who makes it, as far as, if they're a good brand or whatever. I picked this up at like a Rite Aid, I think, for $6. So between the knife and this, that's 20, and then another 5 for the fire steel. So I am going out with a kit that costs me $25, and I'm going to attempt to survive the night, very cold night. Now, obviously, I am dressed for the occasion. I will be having, this hat. I've got a pair of, be using these wool glove mittens. So, got my fingers out when I need to use them, and then I can just fold this over, and it can be a mitten. I've got wool socks on. Got my ski pants with two base layers underneath, and I'll have my jackets on, and that's it. As far as my emergency kit, just so you guys know, I do have my Leatherman in there in the event of emergency. I've got my Adventure Medical Kits SOL Escape bivy, and I have a poncho tarp, and that's about it. That's about it. So first aid kit, bivy, and tarp in the event that I really, get messed up. Oh, no, that's a lie. I also brought a little matchbox full of cotton balls with Vaseline in the event that I really have a tough time getting a fire going, because a fire really is going to be imperative in this situation with the cold. So again, my goals are to go out, build a fire, build a shelter, and survive the night. And hopefully along the way, I can maybe show you guys some other things. I can show you a couple other little demonstrations or tips or tricks or something like that. But anyway, those are my three. That's what I'm bringing. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. I know I'm excited about it. So guys, in a survival situation, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You see something like this, dead pine tree. Man, you want to talk about kindling and tinder. This is going to be some good stuff. So as you're walking along, you find yourself in a situation, make sure you snag some of this. It's all hanging up. It's all been dried. And then stuff like this, we just call them pine snaps. These are great. Great for getting a fire going. So be aware, pick up little things along the way. Like I said, I know in this, fell through a hole. I know in this portion of woods I'm going to find an awful lot of tinder, so making a big old fire shouldn't be an issue. Finding water might be a little bit more of an issue because there's not as much snow as I expected there would be down in this area. So anyway, you have to be creatures of opportunity. I think this is where I'm going to make my camp. Kind of a natural area. You can see there's a lot of ferns. They're kind of covered underneath the snow, but you can see all these ferns through here. So, I don't know, it looks like I've got some water nearby, a bunch of tinder branches. I'm just going to pick a spot slightly higher than this, right across there, because it goes uphill slightly. And I think right about there is where I'm going to make a little camp between those two trees. So stay tuned. Hey guys, I guess this is the part where I'm supposed to say, man, what a super comfortable and warm shelter. Well, I know it's not going to be. I did get quite a few pine boughs for the ground. I'll probably end up getting some more. I do have quite a stack on top because I didn't want to pack them down and really weave it in there. Reason being is I have to take this all down when I'm done. So I just stacked them lightly on there. I can see some sky when I look up, but it's really nothing too bad. So anyway, see, I've got my ridgepole here, and I'm overhanging maybe, I don't know, anywhere between a foot and 18 inches in some spots, so that if the snow does come straight down, generally it's been coming from behind me, that's why I oriented the shelter like this. But if it does start coming straight down, it'll still offer some protection. Probably won't blow in on me as much. I'm planning on having the fire just about where the camera's sitting right now. And anyway, I've got a support down at that end for this main beam. I've got this log supporting here, plus it's wedged into the tree. I have not used any cordage on this shelter. If I had cordage, shelter would certainly be a lot easier and probably a bit nicer. But there are going to be times where you might not have cordage, or you lost it, or you have other uses for it that are a little more important. So anyway, this is how I made it. You know, tonight I'll probably shift all over the place, but I'm going to try to plan on sleeping on my back a little bit for the most part. But I'll probably end up curled up with my face towards the fire. So the next task is to gather up some firewood. It is still cold. It is still very cold. I don't know if you guys can see, but I've kind of got some snow and some ice on my beard, and but I've been going. I think I've got about, I don't know, 2 hours or so before the sun really goes down. And since I'm not using a light, I didn't bring one. I do need to really get my firewood gathered up and get a fire started pretty quick. So quick break. When we come back, I'll start a fire for you, and then we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Stubborn. Look at that, off one tree. Got everything from smaller than pencil size, you know, to bigger than thumb size. That's a lot of good kindling there. So, good tip. Check out for pine trees with all those dead little branches. This is the other half of the tree that I knocked down earlier that I used for my ridgepole. I'm going to use this and just burn it at the end and just keep feeding it into the fire. This will be my main source of bigger wood. I will have to grab a few more smaller chunks. Well, guys, sorry about that. The camera was off when I got this started. I totally dropped the ball on that one, so I apologize. Report though, my cheapo fire steel here, not the greatest. Took quite a few strikes to get it to go. I had a few feather sticks made, and I used the spine to make some shavings. And while I did get it going, it certainly took a little more effort than I thought it would. The sparks, you kind of really couldn't get them to go where you wanted them to go. They just kind of went all over, and they fizzled out pretty quick. So, did it work? Yeah. Would I get a better fire steel next time? Yep. You know, if I was gonna bet my bacon on it, I'd want it to be a little easier. So it did do the job, but just not great. So I'm gonna get this built up and then check back in. Hey guys, back again, and man, what a beautiful day. Sun's starting to get a little low in the sky. And, this is my little view of the world tonight. Got the fire going now. I can only find one stone, and that's where my bottle is sitting. The rest were so frozen, I kicked them and beat them with logs, and I could not get them to budge. So I'm using a rotten stump as a backstop there, and I'll just have to police it closely to make sure it doesn't spread. In all honesty, I doubt I'm going to get a whole lot of sleep tonight anyway. You can see my bottle there starting to steam. Let's see if we can take a look down in there. Hard to see on camera, but I can see that bubble's coming up. I don't want to burn my camera, which is my phone. So, but either way, I'll get back to you guys a little later after I let my water cool. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink this water as soon as it cools. I'm going to drink it all. And then I'm going to grab some more before it gets too dark. And I'm going to boil that up so I have it through the night if I need to. So anyway, I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. Thanks for joining me. Well, guys, I've got my fire set up. I'm not letting it roar. I'm trying to conserve some of the wood. But I boiled some water in my Sub-Zero $6 bottle here, and this performed like a champ, and so did my Mora, obviously. Like I said, the only issue with the gear I've had so far has been the fire steel, and obviously it made a fire, but definitely was not happy with, being able to control the sparks. But for right now, the water is cool enough to where it's actually it's warm. It's not hot, so it actually feels great drinking it. So I'm just going to drink a little bit and enjoy the scenery. And as soon as I drink this, I'll fill it up and boil some more. Hey guys, first off, I just wanted to apologize for the audio issues. Between the fire and my camera being my phone and the distance, it really just didn't work out. But anyway, I wanted to just let you know what I would have been talking about during this portion. First off, I just talked about why I was doing this. Why would I go out into the woods on such a cold day to try to survive with only 3 items? And the first reason I talked about was because I just wanted to test myself. And I think this is true for all of us. We all need to test ourselves before we really need to. This is a great time to hone skills and practice things that we might not get a lot of practice on. And, when you put yourself in this kind of a situation, it forces you to kind of bone up on your skills and really get good. And the best time to practice is when you don't need to get them done. So I was relaxed and I didn't have to freak out and I wasn't panicked. So, if something like this ever did happen, I could go into it knowing that I've done it before and I would have confidence, and confidence is always going to help you do better. The next reason I gave was because I just wanted to have fun. I love being out in the woods. I love having fun. I love doing this kind of thing. I love building the shelters and getting the fire going. And so for me, it was just an awful lot of fun. The next reason I gave was just to get away in the woods. Sometimes life gets really busy and you just kind of want to escape for a little bit. And I had an opportunity to get out of the house for a day or two where my wife could take care of the kids and get them off the bus and that sort of thing. So I took it. I took the opportunity and I got away from the busyness that kind of marks most areas in my life, and I was able to just spend a little time in the woods by myself, which brings me to the fourth point, the fourth reason that I did this. Sometimes it is just good to get alone with God. Now I know not everybody watching this is a believer or will really understand this, but for me this is the most important reason. Sometimes I just need to get away and spend some time in prayer and enjoying the creation that God has made for us to enjoy. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. Some of my best memories and best prayers and things like that have been in the woods when I'm alone and I'm just kind of soaking up all of creation and the beauty that God has made. So anyway, before I end this little section, I wanted to give a shout out to some other YouTubers who could make their own version of this. I would love to have a bunch of video responses to this. I would love to see other people's, whether it's a top 3 or a top 5 or even a top 10. I would love to see some people go out in the woods with only what they considered the bare essentials and spend a day or two in the woods, and maybe not in the winter as I have chosen to do, but maybe in some nicer weather when it's a little easier. But I'm one of those people where I get an idea in my head and I just have to do it. So I couldn't wait till the springtime or the summer to do this video. I had an opportunity and I wanted to do it right away. Maybe not the smartest of moves, but either way I had fun doing it. So for right now, I'm going to nominate 2 YouTube channels that I enjoy, that I think are good guys and I think would do a good job making this video. And maybe if they make it, if they accept this, they could nominate 2 others of their choice and we could have a bunch of cool videos floating around YouTube. So the first guy I'm going to nominate is the YouTube channel David's Passage, and I will put a link in the description box below. And I would love to see him
take a few of his items. I know he does a lot of bushcraft type stuff. I would love to see what his choices were and see a video of him doing this. I think he does an awesome job editing his stuff. And the second channel that I would nominate is another guy whose videos I really enjoy, who I think has a pretty balanced approach to everything, is Crockett20. And I'm sure most of you guys know him, but I will put a link for his channel in the bottom as well. So David's Passage and Crockett20, I would love to see your take on this, the 3 things that you would choose, and how you use them to basically affect survival for a couple days. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this, and I want you to stay tuned because coming up next is a surprise ending to this video. In some ways I'm disappointed with it, and some ways I'm not. Either way, stay tuned. You know, I think it'll be different than what you were expecting.
Okay guys, so unfortunately I had to make a stop to this video, to this adventure. As I was sitting by the fire, it was getting pretty late, and I caught out of the corner of my eye some movement, and I looked up and I kind of did one of these so I didn't see the fire and I could see out, and it was a reflection of some eyes. So no big deal, you know, our animals in the woods. And then I saw a second set, and then I started hearing some yipping and some howling, and then over to my left I saw another set kind of come bouncing down towards me, and I'm looking, and then I see a fourth, and started to get a little worried. I don't like coyotes. I actually have somewhat of a fear of dogs. I'm not a huge fan. I've had some bad experiences, so I started making some noise. I broke a couple sticks, built up the fire, and they weren't moving. They stayed. So what I did is, you know, I yelled at them a couple times, and normally when you yell at wildlife, they take off. That wasn't the case this time. So what I decided to do was give it one more try. So I got up and I yelled and I threw a couple sticks in their direction, and they just stayed still. They didn't leave. And then I let out a good yell, tossed a stick, and they seemed to leave. So I said, well, I'm not like really happy with that, but it's not going to end the trip. A couple minutes later, I catch movement again, and they had come back in, and they were closer this time to where I could hear them walking, and I'm not a big fan of that. So call me a coward if you want. I don't like coyotes. I did not want to stay up stoking a fire all night because I had a fear. So whatever. I decided, I made a call to come back out, so I'm back in the truck now. Sorry I couldn't finish this trip out for you guys, but I have never dealt with coyotes that came back in after you scared them off. Normally, they're type of animals where you scare them once, they're gone, they're out. And it doesn't take much to scare them. But I just had a bad feeling about it, so I decided to cut it short. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming along with me. Sorry we couldn't finish it up. I had a couple bushcraft videos or, you know, kind of projects I was going to do tomorrow, but maybe next time. Either way, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. I appreciate you coming along with me. I appreciate all my subscribers, all the new subscribers, and the ones that have been around for you know, for a while. And anyway, thanks guys. God bless. Hope you have a good one.